Oh, wait a minute. Should have come up now.
That's it.
Is that it?
Think so.
Good man. All right. Well, look, hopefully this is going to be better than last week because there was no fucking sound in the last one. Which, hey, do you know what? We still got 12 views, so I don't know how that's worked. So there's like 12 people went on the link and there was no sound, and it was done in a fucking iPhone. So yeah, anyway, I think this one should be a bit better. But from the top then, so I think we said some of this last week, but in terms of what the kind of format of it is going to be, right? And hopefully for this season, we'll be able to get every single game we can, right? I mean, it's, you know, some might be longer than others, but I think in terms of the podcast, it will be good, me and you just discussing Scottish football and our respective teams and any massive things that have happened. But then every so often, we get someone in that's a real fan of another team. So someone that's gone to the away games, gone to the home games that week, and they can talk about it and they can actually say what was good and what was shite and what was, you know, permissible. And then also just have a bit of a deep dive from them, what they think is happening with our clubs. So how it's run, finances, you know, youth system, anything that's just anything to note that you would, if you were like a mad Thistle fan, you'd know because you'd go to all the games and, you know, go to the pub in the Star and Garter, but you might not be able to read it on BBC Sport or Sky Sports or something like that. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice. So, all right, so this week then, it'd be good to know about the Motherwell game, the 0-0. It'd be good as well, my mate, who's a Falkirk fan, sent through a pretty scathing report after the Livingston game. Hearts as well, so Hearts got injury time winner, that'll be interesting. Thistle, as I was saying, bottom of the league, so that's fun. And then if we've got time at the end, just what we said last week but nobody heard about Dumbarton, and my mate Chris sent over a bit of a deep dive in Dumbarton that I thought was actually really interesting, so let's put that on. But yeah, do you want to kick off, John, with Motherwell?
Yeah, so I actually never made the game this week. I'd been at my cousin's stag do the night before. It wasn't as kind of mental as these things go, but yeah, just couldn't make it to the game. I was nearly kind of going when there was the talk from the manager. Jens was saying that Lennon Miller might get some minutes in the tank with not having been sold yet, and I thought, oh, should I go? Should I go? And then
Final game.
It wasn't named in the squad, so then I was like, I'm not gonna go watch it on Sports Scene. Would it been was the 50th anniversary of Sports Scene? I don't know if you'd seen that one, if that one had passed you by.
Yeah.
I was quite surreal to see Archie McPherson commentating on Motherwell. It was abysmal. The commentary, not the football. We're still playing some nice stuff, but I think this was kind of one of the big kind of first tests. We've got quite a tough start between the first two games here, like the first 4 games really. We've got like Rangers, which is always going to be a tough one playing any side of the Old Firm. St Mirren, who seem to play like the antithesis of what the young kind of Motherwell team is going to look like in terms of how style of football and style of play. Just big guys that looked like they were just trying to batter everything. It was just big physical boys. We were kind of looked as if, again, like the Rangers game, if we'd taken the chances, better, it would have been a really different game, a different result. Next week we've got Kelly as well. Again, another one out of that kind of St Mirren mould, and then it's Hearts away.
Hearts are doing well. Hearts are doing well as well.
Aye. Well, this is the thing. You see that Tony Bloom out giving it, or we'll be mounting a title challenge. We'll win the league in 10 years, and you're waiting for it to slip up in the first 2 games, and they're winning them. We're like, when I seen it was 2 each the other night, I was like, here we go. Get a post on social media. That's the title challenge again. But no, I still think it's going to be a funny one for Motherwell this season. From seeing that we're creating chances, we're getting things there. It's going to be difficult playing against teams like St Mirren, Kilmarnock that are going to sit behind the ball. Like Dundee, they looked as if they'd done really well against Rangers. But the big thing now is Lennon Miller's been sold this week.
Is like what do you think? I mean, Udinese, do you think was it a good deal? Do you think you guys are going to suffer from
The pre-season without him, we've looked pretty good.
it? Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna. We just cut that bit out where you.
Aye, don't worry.
Uh,
Sorry.
Joe just
Uh,
asked me that again
yeah,
about him.
yeah, yeah. So in terms of um Lennon Miller, so you sold him to Udinese. What do you think? Is that going to affect the season?
I don't think so. I hope not. I think I would have loved to have seen him play in this team. Like
Yeah,
that would be the dream. But he has to move on at this point.
yeah.
Yeah. We
Is
can't
he
keep him. We
is
can't
he
afford to keep
is
him.
he as good? Is he as good as everyone's saying? So do you think he's going to do well in Serie A?
Yeah, he's a 19-year-old that is bossing the midfield in
Yeah,
every game he's playing. In Scotland, it's a
yeah,
tough league. Like it's a hard league if you're not kind of physically capable. You're going to get kicked off the ball.
yeah.
You're not going to survive that. He's going in there and he's not just kind of surviving. He's dominating.
Doing well.
Like he's really setting the tempo last year in games, moving the ball around, knows when to try and make the right kind of pass. We tried to play him further up the pitch, particularly under Kettlewell. It turned into a bit of a circus, trying to
Aye.
play him as a number 10, trying to get him to score goals so he looked as if he was a better player than he was,
Yeah,
making him the captain. Just like watch him play like that wee kind of that proper kind of central midfield role where he could
aye.
get stuck in, where he could have a bit of decision making, where he could decide to kind of play it short, keep the ball, play it long, go for something ambitious. You seen that in his kind of Scotland debut. He
Aye.
didn't look out of place like that. As a 19-year-old guy coming in and looks assured. There's guys that get their debut at 25, 26, 27 for Scotland in central midfield that haven't looked that good.
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah.
about a boy 19 here. Don't know how it pans out now at Udinese. They've seemed keen on having him, but I
How
don't know if it's
how
a
much
year.
was it? How much did you get for him?
4.7 I'm hearing.
Oh,
It's apparently our biggest transfer fee, whatever it is.
yeah,
Bigger than the Dumbarton one, which was about 3 million, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
3.5. But it's a good move for him, I think.
Nice, nice.
They seem to have wanted him for a while. They've been kind of tracking him. I think they came in before,
Yeah,
but didn't offer enough money. I think that was a year ago, maybe, or 6 months ago. They came in for him in December. I say 6 months ago. It really feels like that because it's half a year ago, like, but it wasn't really. So we just need to see what happens now. But
nice.
the money's in. I hope we don't do something stupid. I don't think we're going to try and chase getting players like Motherwell fans you see on Twitter, like, oh, we should break the bank for Ronan Hale.
Yeah,
There's no, we're not going into like bidding wars to spend 1.5 million on a player because we shouldn't. We've not.
yeah,
It's not in the way we do things. We've made something like 12 million in the past few years from transfer fees. Like that's unheard of for a club Motherwell size. 4.7, if the rumours are to believe, like 4.7, 4.5 million for
yeah,
Lennon Miller. This is what we were talking about trying to sell 60% of the club for, like a
yeah,
year ago.
yeah.
It's sensible people are in charge of Motherwell now.
Well,
We've
that's
moved
good.
people off the
Yeah,
board
and that's what
that should
that's what I was
that
going to ask
shouldn't
you.
have been there and
Sorry,
had too long there.
was that?
I said they shouldn't have been there and they had too long in position. It's moving forward. I think the kind of the situation that we find ourselves in now, like that's what people were saying a year ago, that you know we can chase this investment from America. We can take this guy's money
Yeah,
for 60% of the club, or for 4.5 million. I think it was. He was offering 4 million,
and
but
that's
we had an asset like Lennon Miller sitting there waiting to be sold at some point. He's had the type of season we'd expect him to have, and then we've sold him for that kind of money. Like clubs don't need to be chasing these daft owners to come in
yeah,
and try and bankroll them. And it's the worry I've got for the rest of Scottish football that they're doing that. But when you look at the Motherwell model, it's sustainable now. We've brought in Lennon Miller. Hopefully, we do something sensible like create a training ground,
yeah,
buy some land and build a training ground. At the moment, Motherwell train on school pitches. That
It's
kind of
crazy.
it does it a disservice. It is a big facility that
Yeah.
they use kind of historically. There's loads of pitches there. They're well kept. It's used by like a local rugby team as well.
Right.
It is well kept, but we need something of our own. And something a bit of kind of a higher standard to attract players in, and just kind of avoid having to pay rent on it. Build another asset, something else that we can have that is Motherwell's, and do a bit more kind of community stuff as well. Because again, we're sitting there, we're training teams up at a school pitch rather than our own one when we're bringing these players in, probably in spite of that. So yeah, it's a great move though. Hopefully, just kicks on and becomes the player that we think he can, because it would be cool to see that. There is a kind of, I think, a kind of, you see where Motherwell players go, they don't always go for the big kind of next move.
Yeah.
They don't get that next kind of bump up. But then again, that's, I think, people's attitudes. It's a player from Motherwell, we'll maybe not see that. But we sell them when we can. I think Lennon Miller will buck the trend. And you see guys.
Is he a sensible guy? Like, has he got his head screwed on, do you think? Because I'm just thinking, like,
I think so, yeah. You don't hear any stories about him. You don't hear, like, a lot of locally you hear, like, when I was staying in Motherwell, you would always hear about young players. They were at this party, they were at this night, or whenever. You would hear stories, or they've done this. Don't hear that with Lennon Miller. Just hear seems like got his head screwed on.
Good.
Seems like a quiet boy.
Yeah.
He's got his dad there advising him as well, who seems like a sensible guy.
Good.
Also a former Scotland player as well, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Fuck. And then, I guess, moving on, like, in absolute contrast, Thistle, my team, are just playing absolute dog shit just now. So, I mean...
Yeah, you seemed confident previously about...
Do you know what? Yeah, I think because, like, the first game of the season, so I was at St Johnstone, and, like, the first 20 minutes, I think I said this to you last week, but, like, the first 20 minutes, we gave as good as we got, you know, and, like, and we were okay. We were kind of holding our own. We scored first. It was a great bit of play from Tony Watt, switched the ball over, set up the cross for the first goal. So it was like, all right, fair enough, this is quite good. And then St Johnstone just got into second gear or third gear, just like they just went, right, fuck this, we've had enough, we're going to score a few goals. So it was night and day. And I guess, I think, like, last week I was like, well, look, Mark Wilson, he's obviously he's a good coach. He's done all the credentials, he's done all the sort of training and stuff, so give him a chance. But then you're playing a Morton team that, you know, Dougie Imrie's the coach. He's the type of guy that you can imagine at halftime he throws chairs at people. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, like, you're kind of like, we drew 1-1 with them, and, you know, by all accounts, it wasn't pretty. You know, we had no pace. There was no one up top really, because, you know, I think we've spoken about it. Tony Watt, he's not like a number 9. He's not like an out and out get in the end of a cross type thing.
Yeah,
so
he's a really good footballer, but he's not a good striker or a good...
No, exactly.
And he lacks a position, I think.
Aye, and that's the thing, because he's great if he's like maybe like, you know, like a number 10, or like not number 10, but it's if he needs like to do something fancy or do something good, then he's fantastic. But yeah, one positive, I guess, was that that young boy, Litsoza, that we got from Celtic, or he was like ex-Celtic. He was really good in the second half, so he came on, and it was a bit of a novelty just having someone with pace in that kind of number 10 position. So it was actually quite good. I mean, recently, so like this week, we've signed a guy, Alex Samuel, who I think he was at County before, and he was a free transfer. And by all accounts, again, I don't know, I've not seen him, but by all accounts, he runs a lot, good link-up play. But he scored like, he went on loan to Cali a couple of years ago in the Championship, and he scored something like 5 goals in 17. So you're like, it's not going to solve like the goal scoring problem. It's not, you know, like we're saying, he's not like the guy at the end of the cross. Which then, when you look at someone like Brian Graham, who's gone to Falkirk, and by all accounts as well, he was hooked at half time. He's, you know, Falkirk fans saying he's just looking hopeless, and he's actually not got the pace. And you kind of wonder, it's like, how different would it have been if Graham said, right, one more shot, I'm just going to be the number 9 guy in the Championship for Thistle and stay here,
Yeah.
versus, because I mean, Falkirk, it's, I don't know, like it's already starting to look like, oh God, they're going to be the team that everyone's going to beat. And I know they drew that earlier, but
It feels like Brian Graham, like the time to take a punt on him was a couple of seasons ago.
yeah,
Like he was now just at the kind of fitness level that he was a Championship player. Now, like really good, great player still at that level.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
you can be a bit smarter. You don't need that kind of turn of pace as much. But you're
Think
playing
so.
against big guys in the Premier League now, big
Yeah,
boys.
and they're
Can move.
fast. They're fast as well. Because see, when I watched the Motherwell Rangers game last week, and I was surprised at just how fast the whole game was. It's
Yeah,
definitely gone up a notch, which was good. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Because it's the League Cup this weekend, isn't it? So Thistle have got
yeah.
there, and you've got St
You've
Johnson.
got Johnson, yeah.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Where is it? Is it at Motherwell? Was that at St Johnson?
It's at Perth. It's at
Right.
McDermott Park. Again, can't make it because it's my cousin's wedding this week after
Yeah, yeah, of course.
the stag do. I think it'll be pretty routine.
Yeah.
If I'm
Okay.
honest with you, I think this time last year, or did I say again that it's about kind of Christmas time last year, January. We
Yeah.
played in the Scottish Cup away. But didn't win that one.
Aye.
It's kind of the big, very much the beginning and the end for Kettlewell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That one. So we're back there. I think it'll be different this time. I think we'll
Okay.
see them off. I think it'll probably be a good game, given that St Johnstone seem keen on playing football as well. I think
Yeah.
we'll give them chances potentially, but I think we've got enough quality now.
Yeah.
We should,
Yeah.
we'll
I reckon
that way.
so. I reckon so.
Um,
We'll
I
need
think
to.
it's gonna
Sorry.
be a kind of long season. I think though for Motherwell, I think it's gonna be an entertaining one.
Yeah. Yeah. It will be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be good. And then did you see the goals, the Hearts Dundee United game at all? Last minute
I
one.
haven't actually never managed to catch him because it was on. It was a kind of weird time, wasn't it?
Aye, it was like 4 o'clock on a Sunday or something like that. It was.
Yeah,
It,
strange time. There's been a lot of that in the first kind of couple of weeks in the Premier League. I don't understand it. The kind of Rangers was it the
it's
opening week we played them at 5:30 kickoff.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
the next week was I think the same for them or a 5 o'clock kickoff even
yeah,
on a Saturday. Like weird games on Sunday. I know we need to get the Sunday games at the moment because this team's still in Europe. So you'll have
yeah,
Hibs have to play on a Sunday. They're playing at 3 o'clock on a Sunday because they move them back 24 hours. The same with Dundee United. But it just seems a lot of kind of strange kick-off times at the moment. And it's obviously it's for telly, but nobody's got Premier Sports.
I know. That's the thing, innit? It's like it's different, and also it's different. See if it's like Liverpool, Bournemouth, or fucking like Arsenal, Man U. It's like you're like right. You can kind of understand because it's costing Sky millions, so like
Yeah,
they're in charge. But then exactly to your point, it's like 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Like who's benefiting that? From
yeah.
that. So
Premier
yeah,
Sports, nobody cares.
I know exactly.
Even
Fuck them.
Premier
Fuck
don't
them.
care about Premier
Fuck them.
Sports.
Right.
Like if Like I know we're sitting here trying to do a podcast and we're sitting with the webcams on and things.
Aye.
It's like Premier Sports, I think, put that on the telly. They've got a show that's like that, them just sitting at home on the webcam.
I know.
Like,
On their OnlyFans.
folks say Sky don't care about Scottish football,
Oh,
but for whatever reason, Premier Sports keep coming back.
yeah. And do
Like,
you know what? I mean, that's the thing as well, because like even like see like the reason because we were remember like when we were with Jim, we were sitting in the pub going, actually, you kind of Scottish football needs something like this where it's not just a podcast talking about Rangers and Celtic, but then at the same
yeah,
time, it's not like a Firhill Jags just talking about Thistle or a Motherwell just talking, so like you want to talk about other stuff as well. You want to sort of go and yeah. And that, do you know what? That brings me on really nicely to the final point that I was wanting to talk about Dumbarton. So I know I said this last week, but obviously no one could hear it except you. Um, but my mate Chris, who's a Dumbarton fan, he was saying just a bit of a deep dive on It was a big game against Clyde, the first game of the season. They won 2-0. Supposedly rode their luck, but they got the points, and that chipped away because they went into the league -5 because I think they went into administration. So he was like, look, that's a really good game. That was a really good result. But then this weekend's result, he actually came back and he said that was an absolute statement result. So they won 2-0, and he said, what was it he said? He said, already favourites for the league now, and that's 2 games in. And I think that's just, like there's a well-run community club. There was the new owner's Canadian, and straight away he came in and he said to the fans, he was like, I've got zero interest in land development. He's talked about cutting, like he's had to cut budgets, but he's talked about sustainability, sensible measures, and then he's not been a dick and saying, oh, we're going to get the Champions League in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So by all accounts, I think they'll be a really good team to watch this season.
I think the whole situation with him and administration stuff like completely stinks. Like they kind of flagged themselves up voluntarily, I believe.
Yes,
because people were invited to come into the club and invest in it, and it didn't come into fruition. The money wasn't there after they'd kind of agreed upon it. Really, kind of, I don't want to say it's no fault of their own, because it is that they've not kind of checked these people out beforehand.
Yeah.
But there's no support for the SPFL or the SFA and stuff like that. They're more interested in dishing out like point deductions and stuff to these teams, the ones that are in probably need of a bit of help, that like said Dumbarton. Like
yeah.
There's no, but that effectively relegated them last season. It made it uncompetitive for them. When really the money that they were bringing in wasn't kind of getting spent on a playing squad or anything like that, by all accounts. It doesn't really sit comfortable with me that one of the older teams in the league are getting punished like that for not really. I don't know.
Yeah.
When you kind of, let's not name any names for legal reasons, but when you see some of the teams that are down there and some of the money that's getting spent and some of the practice you're hearing about at some of the teams, the fact that they're punishing Dumbarton absolutely stinks. And then you've got like whatever basket cases going on at Edinburgh City and Hamilton Accies. As well. That the whole Accies and Clyde thing, like Accies have been chucked out their stadium because the SPFL allowed guys to take over that club that have effectively asset stripped it.
Yeah.
They're no interest in protecting the teams that make up their organisation, the kind of member teams. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that Hamilton have been punished for in recent weeks that they deserve because they have been financially mismanaged. But the fact that, as I say, the SPFL hasn't stopped this before. There's no kind of means that the SPFL have or want to have that they can try and transition teams like that into community ownership or something and kind of stop these guys for doing what they're doing. And then we've got, pardon me, Clyde now moving into their stadium because that will be seen as more profitable.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, they had to move to New Douglas Park and they'd got chucked out of Broadwood because they couldn't help themselves for trying to re-sign a guy that's a rapist.
Oh, fuck, that's right. That's good, Willie, wasn't it? Jesus.
Yeah. Now, there's a bit of me, you're like, the council didn't have a problem at the 5 years they was there.
Yeah.
It wasn't until McDermott kicked off at Wraith Rovers for them trying to sign him. It was all very messy, but it kind of led to the end result that was kind of correct. But then Clyde had been chucked out their stadium as a result. Like, they went for Rutherglen to Cumbernauld. They've never been back in Rutherglen. Like, they've no interest in going back to Rutherglen. So what even are Clyde anymore?
Exactly. They're just one of those non-entities. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, they're just full of fans that absolutely hate Thistle for some reason, which, I mean, that takes some doing, because how, like even Old Firm fans, you always hear them in Glasgow going, what's that?
Quite a cuddly club.
I know, exactly. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. And just to say as well, if we end up making it big, other soft drinks are available. We're not being sponsored by anyone there, right? Product placement.
hide the logo in it.
Fucking hell. I know exactly. We need to blur it out next time. All right, man. Look, I think that's been a good. That's been a good. I know it's week 2, but this is kind of the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been a good. This has been a good one. Yeah. You happy with this?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, definitely. Right. Let me stop recording, but